What is going on, guys? Papa C back with another video for you guys, and today I'm bringing you the NPA bye week recap. I like to do these for the NPA whenever we have a bye week. Usually the bye week's actually earlier on in the season. As you can see on the left-hand side over here, though, our bye week is currently week 9. It's actually pretty late in the season. The reason why I have a bye week this week is because it is currently PAX East, as I'm sure most of you guys are aware. And I think, like, at least, maybe not half the coaches, but a good chunk of the coaches are actually at PAX East. So it was just a lot easier for everybody in the league if we just had the league-wide bye week during PAX East. I think we always do that. I could be mistaken, but I feel like we always do that. Anyway, I just want to recap the team, recap the season, just tell you guys what we've done so far in case you missed a couple of battles here and there. So first off, the team review, kind of giving like a progressive analysis. Is that a word? What am I looking for? A progress report. There we go. Of every single Pokemon. So first up, my first round pick, Tapu Fini. 6 games played out of 8. You know, that's kind of a lot. It's my most played next to... Actually, I have 4 Pokemon that I brought 6 times, which is kind of a lot. 3 kills and 4 deaths. Now, that's not amazing. But the thing with Tapu Fini is I still feel like it's been really good for me as just a defensive anchor. I remember having in the XBL and it was pretty good for me. I think in the XBL, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was like 5-1 through like 2 or 3 weeks, which is kind of good. Obviously struggle a little bit here, but I've noticed when I bring Tapu Fini, I tend to do well. Like, I believe I didn't bring it against Swami and against Kelly, and I happened to lose both of those games. So, yeah, so I definitely want to bring it more. I feel like whenever I bring Tapu Fini, I play better. And then our only other loss is week 2 against the Orlando Magikarps. Unfortunately, we're on a 2-game skid, which really sucks, especially going to a bye week. We played Crest after that. Crest is an interesting team. We'll go over that later. Kind of like a weird like sand and sun team in a bit, but continuing on with the rest of the team, just giving a little progress support. Next up we have Goodra, and it's not been doing very well. 4 games played, 1-4. I feel like I haven't really used Goodra as well as I probably should have. I haven't really brought it that much. I feel like I think I brought it like week 2, 3, and then week 7 and 8. So it's definitely been spread apart. I just feel like I should use it better. I know against Kelly I kind of goofed up, if you missed that battle, spoilers. But I led with it, killed his Heracross, thought that would put me in a really good position. And later on in the battle I realized that, wow, Goodra's actually really valuable. And me trading Goodra for Mega Heracross, which seems like a good idea in theory, was actually a horrible idea. So I definitely gotta be more careful with Goodra. The thing with Goodra is one of the best special walls in the game because it's like, what, 150 special defense? So I definitely should take advantage of that more. Maybe I should stop forcing it to be more offensive and try to play it as a more defensive role. Because I feel like a lot of times I just bring it as a very offensive Pokemon with Assault Vest a lot. Maybe I should try to bring like Dragon Tail or something like that, a more support set. Next up, Fortress. People hate on Fortress. I freaking love it, dude. It sets up rocks, it spins, it's a good steel type. Only brought it 4 times, and it's good enough. The thing I like about Fortress 2 a lot is even if it's on the bench and I don't bring it that week, it forces my opponent to bring some sort of fire coverage. And if you look at the rest of my team doesn't really care that much about fire coverage. So having a Pokemon that forces your opponent to bring fire coverage is pretty good. And it's been pretty good. I mean, 2 and 3, -1. I believe when I had this in the PGL, I think it was season 3 or season 4. I think it was season 4 actually. I ended up making playoffs, and I don't think Fortress had a single kill, but it was really good for me just setting up rocks, rapid spin, gyro ball, volt switching. I wish it got U-turn, but it doesn't. Either way, it's been really good. Miltank, as of lately, kind of started showing up. Brought it 2 games, 3 kills, 2 deaths. Not bad at all. Had a very, very good showing week 6 against the Montreal 2 Canadians. I like it a lot. It has 3 very usable abilities, as you know. Definitely putting a lot of work with the curse set, and it's pretty decent Stealth Rocker. I want to try to bring it more, but I just feel like it can be exploited really easily. A lot of things just come in and set up on it. If Milton got like Whirlwind, that would be a lot better. I believe it was against Swami week 7, the Colorado Rapidash. I was going to bring Miltank just because it could switch into Aggron pretty nicely and take hits. But the problem with that is if Aggron was like a subset or a curse set, it just sets up on me. Which is why I wish this thing would get Whirlwind. Otherwise, it would be a lot better. It's still pretty good at a tier 4. I like it a lot. Definitely one of the best tier 4s in my opinion. And one of my personal favorite Pokemon to use in a league. I've used it in a few different showdown leagues. It's been a lot of fun. Next up, Raichu. Honestly, one of the best Pokemon on the team. Low-key. Now, I haven't really utilized Z moves as much as I wanted to. I know I did bring a Z Raichu week 1, but I never ended up going for it. And I did bring Z Fire Blast or Flamethrower, one of the two, on my Delphox against Kelly. But outside of that, I feel like one thing I want to do more with Raichu is definitely use more Z moves, because Raichu's a really good Z user. That's something I learned from Leo in the GBAD League, because he had Raichu and it was one of the Z captains, and it was pretty freaking good. Unfortunately, it's only 2 and 4, which is kind of bad. You know, I wish he got more kills. Raichu's not the strongest thing in the world. It comes in, it gives me Volt Turn. For what it is, I like it a lot. Obviously, another electric immunity for Tapu Fini and for my Torn. Next up, we got Trevenant. Only brought it twice, 1-1. I believe I brought it week 2, and it didn't really do that much. I think I set up Sun once, and I kind of caused some trouble for the Orlando Magikarps there. And then I brought it again against... Who did I bring it against? And I feel like it did pretty well against them. It might have been against... I think it might have been against In Vivid Color week 4. I don't remember, but it's a defensive anchor. At the time that I drafted, I didn't really like it, but I'm definitely starting to warm up to it. 2 games played, 1-1. I really can't complain. Next up, definitely the MVP so far, in terms of offense at least. Montreal, the Mega Hassel, 6 games played, 9-1, asserting the dominance. I'm not sure what the MVP rankings are. I don't want to check it because I feel like there might be some spoilers for future battles if I click on it. But 9-1 when I'm 5-4 or 5-3 isn't bad. That's actually really not bad at all. I believe when I had it in, I had it in NPA Season 2, and I don't think it was my kill leader there. I think Hoopa was my kill leader there, and I'm definitely very happy with it. One thing that I definitely want to do more with Mega Absol, though, is not try to sit up with it as much. I feel like the past couple of weeks I brought SD a lot, and I never clicked SD, and I feel like it would have been beneficial if I had another coverage move, even like a special move like Ice Beam or Fire Blast. Either way, definitely the best Pokemon in terms of offense on the team. Next Pokemon, the second Pokemon that I drafted in the league, Tornadus, aka Wolfsmith. 6 games played, 4-2. Kind of similar to not Trevenant, to what's that Pokemon called? Oh my god, Fortress, in terms of the fact that it's just a pivot, it can take hits, it U-turns. Obviously, it's much different than Fortress in all of other aspects. I wish it could get more kills. It's another Pokemon that is a fantastic Z-Captain that I feel like I really should take advantage of because it has such good coverage options. I can't complain too much though. 6 games played, 4-2, really not that bad. Next up, honestly, Swampert might be the defensive player of the year for the team so far. I know I said that about Tapu Fini, but if you look at week 4 over here, Swampert had 4 kills. That's kind of ridiculous. 5 games played, 6-2, really not bad. It sets up rocks. It was very, very good against John, killing his Primarina with Mirror Coat. I can't complain about this thing. I feel like Shrek, or Swampert I should say, it wasn't my first choice. I definitely wanted things like Seismitoad because it's actually a lower tier, and Seismitoad, I just feel like Seismitoad offensively just a little bit better utility, but Swampert is definitely stronger in terms of the offensive category. I don't know the exact stats between Swampert and Seismitoad, but I know Swampert has 110 attack, and I don't believe that Seismitoad has an attack set above 90. I could be wrong. Seismitoad does have Stealth Rocks though, does have Water Absorb, which is very, very nice, although Swampert has Stealth Rocks as well. Very good for me. I really enjoy using it, and I feel like that's part of the reason I'm doing so well with it. Swampert was actually one of the first Pokemon that I ever used competitively back in 4th generation, and it's been really nice using it again, because I haven't really used it much since 4th generation, so having it on my team again, very, very nice. Next up, Delphox, aka Akko, recent name change because I started watching Little Witch Academia. Pretty good as well. 5 games played, 4-3 for a tier 4 Fire Psychic. A Pokemon that going into the draft, I didn't even think about drafting it. I know at the time, if you watch my draft analysis, I was considering drafting Kadabra at tier 5. I still think Kadabra at tier 5 is a pretty good value. I think it would be pretty decent tier 5. But when you take into account how my draft was going in terms of types and stuff like that, I just want Delphox to cover up my types. I can't complain about it. It's 104 speed, which is pretty awkward speed tier, but it's great because it outspeeds things like Garchomp on base 100s. It's not the strongest thing in the world. I think it's like, what, 114 special attack, but it's strong enough. Great Z user, in my opinion. Again, common theme here. Definitely want to use Z moves more. And otherwise, I can't complain about Delphox. If you look at the full team, too, before we get to Toxicroak, only 3 things have a negative differential, and one of those things are Fortress, which, I mean, Fortress isn't supposed to get kills, so it's really not that bad. I think both of Fortress's kills came in the same game, too. I came in week 3 against the Tempe Luxrays because I had Giga Drain and I had Volt Switch, which is kind of funny. But anyway, going to the last Pokemon, Toxicroak Suyu. Definitely the week 1 MVP. I believe both of its kills were from week 1, yeah. Again, another Pokemon similar to Delphox I didn't really consider drafting, but at the time of the draft, I'm like, hey, I definitely want a Poison type, and I absolutely need a Fighting type, so I love Fighting types. Toxicroak fit both those categories. It was pretty good for me. I definitely want to bring it more, though. I believe I brought it week 1 and week 2, and then that's it. And we're going into technically week 9, because the bye week doesn't count as a week, so technically week 10 is really week 9 against Crest. Definitely want to bring it more. I don't think it matches up well against Crest, though, because it does, if I give it Dry Skin, then it's super weak to Fire. So, probably not going to bring it versus her, but I think in the future could have a decent matchup. I definitely want to use that more. And one thing I like about the team, too, is it's pretty balanced in the sense of, like, the games played, like, yeah, I have 4 things I brought 6 times, but everything has come at least twice. And I feel like there's a lot of people who, in a draft league, there's maybe 1 or 2 Pokemon that they never bring or only bring once or twice. So having it, 9 weeks or 8 weeks into the season, having things brought at least 2 times each isn't bad. And having things that haven't come to every single game is pretty good as well. But I believe in the XBL, I brought Tapu Fini every single game. So having Tapu Fini only come to 6 out of 8 games so far is pretty good. Another thing I really like is if you look at the matchups here, you know, the first 8 matchups, there isn't one Pokemon that just put the team on its back and got so many kills. It's pretty spread apart, especially week 1. You know, everything except for Tornadus got a kill. Week 2, only Tapu Fini got 2 kills and nothing else got more than that. Week 3, Absol got 3. The most kills a single Pokemon has gotten in the game is 4 with Swampert, and outside of that, it's been a pretty balanced effort. Unfortunately, we lost 0-4 twice in a row, which is really unfortunate. But moving on over here to the playoff picture here. Now, this might be a bit hard to see. Can I make it bigger for you guys? I can't make it bigger for you guys. I'm sorry. It might be a little bit too small to see, but we are currently in... We're going to be in the Silver Division for the whole season, actually. We are currently 2nd in Silver Division now. Don't quote me on this. I believe the way it works is we have the Kanto and Johto conference, Kanto being red and blue, Johto being gold and silver, and then we have the divisions being red and blue in Kanto, gold and silver in Johto. I believe the way it works is the top 2 from each color make playoffs, and then a third team with the best record between both of them has a chance to make it. So let's say, for example, in gold and silver right now, if the season were to end today, out of gold, it would be the Maryland Terrapins and the Rochester Red. Pum turning his season around, by the way. I didn't realize that. He was struggling early on, so shout out to Pum. Or Boffin, I should say. And then out of our side, silver, it would be the Colorado Rapidash. Actually, I don't think the Colorado Rapidash can make playoffs because Swami had to leave the league and he was replaced with somebody else. And last season when that happened, the replacement coaches were void of making playoffs. So I don't know if he can make playoffs. But assuming he can, then the playoff picture for silver will be the Colorado Rapidash and us, and then the wild card seed will be the Orlando Magikarp. So we're still in prime playoff position. If you look at the rest of our season over here, I believe that the rest of the teams we play are sub 500 with the exception of Crest. Not saying I'm going to take these teams lightly, but we definitely have... like if you look from like week 4 to like week 8 was definitely the hardest that we had, because we played John, who was undefeated. We played Kyle, who is struggling, but he's still pretty good. Then we played the Colorado Rapidash and the Maryland Terrapins, both of which are #1 in their division. So that was a pretty rough 4-game stretch. These next 4 games definitely aren't as rough, and I think we have the potential to win the rest of these games. I'm not trying to sound arrogant here, but just looking at team matchups, looking at stuff like that, I think we have a pretty good opportunity. I think we should, as long as we get 6 wins, I think we're pretty much guaranteed playoffs, but I want to finish at least 7-5. So, assuming we finish the season, how many games are left? 4? Assuming we finish the season 2-2, that's fine. I definitely want to keep the differential above 0, though. You know, having a positive differential is good. Last season, I was able to do that. I think I had a 0 or 1 differential, despite being 4 and 8. So, I don't know. My losses, even though I have a lot less losses this season, they have been a lot bigger losses. I think last season, my worst loss was 3-0. This season, my worst loss was 4-0. My best loss was 3-0. So, in terms of just wrapping things up, we're in pretty good position to make playoffs. As long as we don't lose all the rest of our games, which would be really bad. We already have more wins than last season, so we already improved, which is great. Definitely looking forward to the rest of the remaining battles. Only 4 weeks left. I feel like it's gone by so fast. So either way, thanks for watching. Keep putting your Klinks. As I hit my mic there, I'm sorry. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day, and bye-bye. Oh, also, before we go, no transactions. I forgot to mention that. We have not made any transactions. I don't plan on making transactions. This is the first time, I think, ever in a league that I have not made transactions. So that's pretty cool. Either way, we'll wrap it up for real this time. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and bye-bye.